That's true. A lot of times when I may go on a listing appointment, they'll say, "Well, why should I list with you when I have this letter in the mail?" And they said they're ready to buy my house today. I don't have to worry about any open houses and people walking through my home. And I let them know that these people are going to purchase your property or they're trying to purchase your property for less than what the market value is on it, and you're going to lose money.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today we're joined by Catrina Robinson, a real estate professional with over 25 years of experience. Catrina serves buyers, sellers, renters, and investors across Maryland, DC, and Georgia, while also building her own portfolio as a buy and hold investor. She brings a dual perspective, helping clients navigate deals while personally understanding long-term wealth building through real estate ownership. Welcome to the show, Katrina.
Thank you, Dylan. Glad to be here.
Now, I'd like to start off at the top. What does working with traditional single family buyers differ from, working with investors? We were talking in the green room, right? That working with investors can be tricky.
Yes, working with investors can be challenging, basically because investors are looking for deals. They're looking to pay under the market value for property, whereas a traditional real estate purchaser is just looking for a place to call home.
Yeah, and they're looking for something that's going to be their long-term, home. Now, we also were talking beforehand, and you had mentioned you've been working with sellers, and sometimes they'll get something in the mail that says, buy my home for cash, and they'll say, well, what about this offer? And so people do have to watch out sometimes for cash offers because you don't know if that cash offer can always transact, right?
That's true. A lot of times when I may go on a listing appointment, they'll say, "Well, why should I list with you when I have this letter in the mail?" And they said they're ready to buy my house today. I don't have to worry about any open houses and people walking through my home. And I let them know that these people are going to purchase your property or they're trying to purchase your property for less than what the market value is on it, and you're going to lose money. So I tell them to be real careful with that because sometimes also it's not a cut and dry deal like they're telling you.
No.
They're going to put you in a contract while they list your property and potentially get hundreds of thousands of dollars above what you're going to get. So you may walk away with 50,000, but they're walking away with 200,000 when that whole 250 could have been yours.
Yeah, I wish we could have that and then just explain that exactly to everyone who gets a cash offer, because that's certainly going to change potentially their perspective if they think this is the highest and best offer. Now, granted, that is a potentially a outlet for someone who needs something quickly, but if you're looking
Yeah.
for highest and best, listing it on the MLS is probably the best way and has been historically. Pivoting a bit here, Katrina, you're licensed in several different markets: Maryland, DC, and Georgia. What's the biggest differences between those markets?
Well, today is really not too much of a big difference. The property values in Georgia has really soared over the years. It's not as what it used to be, where you can come down and get let's say a 3,000 square foot home and purchase it for 200,000, those days are gone.
Yeah.
I would say pretty much they're neck and neck. Just depends on location in Georgia where you're looking, and the same in DC. DC and Maryland, depending on where you're looking, its location as far as prices are
Now,
concerned.
you're a buy and hold investor. If someone's looking to invest in Maryland today, are there any specific areas that you're paying attention to?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Again, it just depends on where you want to be. You want to be closer to the city. You might want to be in certain areas in maybe Prince George's County. You want to be further away from the city. There are other areas like maybe Charles County, Montgomery County. But then there's some areas in Montgomery County that may be near the DC line as well, closer to like Northwest area, Northwest DC. Um, but like I said, it just depends on where you want to purchase. The closer in towards DC, the more money you're going to pay. Further away, you'll get more property for your money.
I'm imagining that the sprawl of, the cities is increasing constantly, and that you're seeing people who are now commuting potentially from further and further distances. Are some of those towns and smaller cities on the outskirts, far outskirts of like Baltimore and of DC, are they now seeing rent increases because people are commuting from further distances to get to Baltimore, to get to DC?
Um, I think the rents are increasing overall due to the economy. I don't think it has anything about tenant location, like where they need to be and why they're moving out that way. You got to look at taxes have gone up. You got to look at the maintenance costs on properties have gone up. So as landlords, we have to account for all that, and so we have to increase our prices, our rents, in order to cover the expenses, the overhead. If you're looking at condos, the condo association, the monthly payment on that has definitely increased, so someone has to pay it, so you gotta increase your rent so you can cover the condo association. Yeah, so
Now,
mhm.
when folks are looking at condos specifically, I think sometimes this is a tricky area to operate in, because do I treat it more like, appreciation that I might see with a home, or is this going to not appreciate as quickly because people might compare it to an apartment, right?
Mhm.
Are those appreciating at the same rate as homes?
Again, location, where you wanna be. We have let me see, we have an area in Maryland called the National Harbor where there are several condos down there. You have condos mixed in with apartments. So the condo value down there, was predicted to be higher than what it is now. Like, they also have these townhomes that's, at the harbor, the National Harbor, and you would expect these townhomes, very nice townhomes, you would expect them to be valued at maybe 2,000,000 plus. They were struggling to get to 1,000,000 for several years. Last time I checked, they may have been selling for a little under 1,000,000, but if you put those same townhomes in Virginia, they're definitely be like $1,000,000 plus.
Yeah,
So,
all about the location.
it's
And
all about location.
one of the tricky things, I think, especially for folks who are developers and putting up townhomes, is,
Right.
now people have, especially in places like uh, DC and Maryland, you've got so many options as well, that if people are paying already top dollar, what feels like top dollar for something, they might kind of just throw their hands up in the air and say, well, I'm paying a lot for this. Let me pay a lot for some other area that might be closer to where I want to be at, or so on and so forth. You also see kind of the opposite effect, though, happen as well, which is people will just start justifying why they should be paying less for something just depending on their overall needs. I saw this certainly in Texas, where I'm
Mhm.
licensed, where you'll see people where there's an abundance. I know this isn't happening out there, but there's an abundance of multifamily housing, and so people really could pretty much find and pick any place that they want to live in. There's probably some spot close by, but then they're also saying, well, if I'm going to be paying that much, maybe I go buy a home. Or if I'm going to be paying that much, maybe I go, get this place in this perfect location that I want to be and pay a couple $100 more. So you do see, some level of, I guess, scope creep with buyers and renters once they start realizing, how much everything costs.
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yes, yes, I do agree. But it also depends on the buyer. You have some people that look at the overall picture and go, if I buy, then I'll be responsible for the maintenance, right?
Yeah.
The upkeep on the property. So they factor in all that cost versus renting and say, okay, well, the landlord is responsible for everything. So I can just rent and not worry about maintenance versus owning my property and there I go, I have to worry about all the maintenance. But one thing I would like to mention is that there are quite a few investing companies, banks, mortgage companies that are either taking over existing property or building new property, new homes, townhomes, single family homes, and renting them out
Yeah,
in a lot of
that's a
areas.
good point. And I think that's also happening not just with condos and multifamily properties, but in single family residential homes. I've spoken with developers who are building whole subdivisions to rent,
Yes.
and so one of the things that I think people have some degree of skepticism of, or want some degree of caution, is are we just becoming a rental economy where people are just going to rent everything? And we were talking in the green room about the price of homes. I'm from northern New Jersey area where it feels like the average home price is upwards of $900,000, and certainly wasn't always that way. But when it's becoming more challenging for people to get qualified, it feels like, and then when it becomes more challenging from an acquisition standpoint to get into these homes, you're needing a larger down payment, and the mortgages are very high. Who's qualifying for these homes? It becomes trickier and trickier and trickier.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
Now, pivoting a bit here, Katrina, we talk specifically about investing in the DMV. I think there's a lot of times people immediately pinpointing on DC, or they might go to their nearest metro, Baltimore. But you mentioned that you're in the like, kind of middle of Maryland, right? And so,
Mhm.
are there any markets close to you that might not be on the map nationally that folks might be looking at as far as investments?
Um, let's see. As far as investments, I know a lot of investors like to go into an area called District Heights, Capitol Heights, maybe Temple Hills. You can get a lot of fairly priced properties in that area, some which may require some repairing, have repair costs to it. So, yeah, that would be a good area for investors. We're talking to Capitol Heights, the District Heights, I think it's Hillcrest Heights, Temple Hills, those areas like that.
Bonus question here for you.
Mhm.
What makes a rental property perform, long term in the markets that you're active in? Is it good tenants? Is it a property that is not going to have, you know, structural issues, or lots of maintenance issues? Is it a mix of things? What makes something succeed long term?
For me, I'm all about affordable housing. So I lease a lot of my properties to the housing choice voucher recipients. So for me, that's how I sustain my rents. and just upkeeping on my properties.
Now, when we talk about affordable housing, and you mentioned housing choice voucher, I think
Mhm.
more and more investors are realizing that just because they're receiving some type of government aid, either directly or indirectly, that doesn't
Mhm.
mean that they should shy away from that. It means that, hey, their rents are guaranteed, right? So it's a
Absolutely.
win-win proposition.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
It is. It is. I would say, for me during COVID, I didn't have a problem receiving my rents on time, where a lot of the landlords who didn't rent to voucher recipients, they were chasing their rent. So I would say it was pretty secured.
And I think that's probably somewhat uh, against the grain as far as investor thinking, because you would think, well, if I'm renting to people who don't have the highest income, how am I going to secure my rents? Well, it's government backed, so you're going to get it either way. Getting into that space, was there a learning curve? Was it challenging to get started in that realm?
Well, let's go back to what you said as far as income. The voucher is their income. So that's what you have to look at, right? So whatever your rent is per month, you average that, or you add that up, and then you look at the voucher, and the voucher is supposed to cover that. Now, there are some recipients out there that will have to pay a portion of their rent, and then there are some that pay a really small amount of the rent of that voucher.
When we talk about these programs, I think that we're seeing more and more demand from people for actually affordable housing,
Mhm.
whether that's through these types of programs from investors and developers putting up housing which isn't going to cost them, half of their income after taxes taken out. And I mean, we were mentioning earlier too. It's harder than ever, even to just rent. In some of these places, you're not just going to have good credit and no evictions. You're going to have a large income and guarantors. You're competing now just to be able to rent in some of these areas.
That is true. That is true. It's getting harder and harder to qualify for decent housing today. It
Yeah.
is.
It certainly
Mhm.
is. And I think as, people are starting to potentially survey the real estate market as a whole, and I'm talking to you remotely, we were talking before the show,
Mhm.
I'm in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. People are going to start to realize, well, hey, do I have to be living in this area? My family's from here, but is it absolutely necessary that I have to be living in this area? Could I be living in a different state too? Right. And so people, especially with advances in technology and AI, they may just start to realize or say, "Hey, I just can't afford to live in LA, in, northern New Jersey, in Boston, or wherever it is." Like, not to throw any shade at those areas. I love those places, but it's just very expensive to live in so many areas of the country.
Yeah, and a lot of people did realize that, and a lot of people with remote jobs did up and leave out of certain areas where they really couldn't afford to live in, and so they branched out and went further south.
Yeah, I think we're seeing more and more of that kind of net migration.
Mhm.
We are coming up on time here, Katrina. Any new projects that you're working on? And then as well, what's the best way for folks to get in contact with you?
Oh, okay. Well, right now I am looking at a new grant that just came out, Maryland has, and focusing on trying to get me an area for multifamily unit to assist with homelessness. Um, so that's my new project. I don't want to mention too much about it because I'm freshly getting into it, and we're working on developing the grant proposal. So yeah, that's the next project, to get more doors, as you would put it. Try to open more doors for people, low income people. So,
If folks want to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
the best way to reach me would be through, my phone number, which is 240-299-4596 is my phone number. Um, and let me see, my website, which is SRG Properties, I think it's SRG Properties Inc. .homes. I
All
believe
right.
that's right.
Catrina, thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.